Union. I hope that you're all well. I hope that our children are thriving. Hello, America's children. You're beautiful and we love you. Today, we are going to be talking about some really heartfelt conversations around kindness and just wellness. And I applaud all of you who have made it this far. We're doing good. We're going to keep managing this day after day. And especially to those caretakers and those family members, grandparents who have helped out in amazing ways. And so I have an exciting message for you guys. And here it is right here.
Believe in the magic of kindness because
because kind is faithful, and magic and kind is faithful, and faithful turns into love.
And I believe in magic of kindness because showing kindness can end up in a result of friendships, and you can show positivity from showing kindness. We believe in the magic of kindness from Anaya Laster and
Daniel Laster.
And believe in the magic.
And so that is a message straight from my children about the magic of kindness. And I want you guys to be encouraged. And I also am asking for you to send videos or pictures about why you believe in the magic of kindness and everyday kind acts that have helped you and your family to make it through this time. And so you can send those to me on my Facebook page at Wise Society. That is hashtag Let My People Think One, and I would love to feature your children and you and why you believe in the magic of kindness. And so, also, if you want to send a picture message with you and your children talking about kindness, you can send those to Christina at npunion.org. Thank you so much. And so today we have an amazing guest, a dear friend who I love talking to, and her name is Bernita Bradley. Hey, Bernita.
Hey, Christina, how are you?
I'm good. I am so blessed to be here. And I am glad that you're here. Can you please tell everyone who you are and what you do?
So I am Bernita Bradley. I'm a mom, education advocacy and outreach by haphazardness. I didn't sign on for this. Some issues happened with my child, as most advocates do. And after then, I was like, there has to be something wrong with our systems when a teacher loses a first grader and cannot find her when a mother comes to pick her up from school. And after that day, my daughter was actually found. But after that day, as a mom, I went into action. I became not just a business owner anymore, but I kind of made this new schedule for my business and shut my business down around the time kids got out of school, and was like, I need to be at the school to make sure our spaces are safer for kids, not just my kid, but all kids. And I just love what I do. I've had so many opportunities to work around education and do support in our city for families and now my goal is to always be a voice in the community at tables that make decisions about our young kids and education. And I push back on them, especially when they don't have community voice there, and say, nope, you can't do this unless you bring the community along with you. So yeah, so
I
that's a
heard
little bit
that.
in a nutshell about it.
And where are you?
I am in Detroit, Michigan. Detroit.
Yes. Yes. So how are you doing? You and your family good? I know you're blessed.
Yeah, we are good. This is challenging times for everybody right now. Um, got a 2-year-old in the house, my grandson, and he's basically running the world for us. He is like, yeah, this is my world. Y'all are just trying to fit in, and we're fitting in as much as possible. But yeah, taking it one day at a time.
That's all we can do is just take it one day at a time, moment by moment, each day, right? And so,
Yeah.
you know, when me and you have talked about our community activism and advocating for kids, and we would be the ones to go and show up, right? And right
Yeah.
now, it's like hard for me because I used to go visit my high schoolers, and I miss them so much, you know. And so it's been an adjustment period of doing advocacy a different way, of being, you know, active a different way. And so, what does that look like for you right now?
Yeah, so that's challenging, I think, for every advocate right now because we are in this bubble of like madness of wanting to go help. Like that want to go help is so forced, like it's like fire in our bones.
Yes,
Because every time I see something on the news, I'm like, I want to go hug this person, or I want to go do this.
yes,
And then not just that, but we're losing leaders around. So we've lost a couple of advocate leaders in our city. And that's hard
wow,
because you can't even be with their families. But you know, if it was another circumstance, you would be there for the family, showing up,
mm-hmm,
cooking, taking care of kids. You would be like, what do you need, baby? I got you, right? And then just being on the call. We have some wonderful parent advocates here, and weekly I'm on different calls with parents, and they're talking about their challenges, and it's just not being able to be there for one another. But of course we have platforms like this that's allowing us to be there for one another. You know, I mean, this is
right,
a weird way of being there, but just connecting and just let one another see our transparency and see that we're real. You know, read us like an open
yes,
book, like we're going just like you are. You know, and hopefully give some type of solace to everybody to know that this too gonna pass one day,
mm-hmm,
and as it passes, we gonna learn to adjust. But what can we do right now to change even our thinking or our heart, or change the outcomes for the future? You know, because in this we're finding some advocacy things we need to advocate for. You know,
yes,
we it's some things that have been red lighted for us. That's like, oh, this is like, hold on, this is not right. You know, so yeah, we taking lists as we go. Like, oh, once this is over, this is on my docket now. You know.
right.
So
And that's a
yeah,
long list because I got one too. I'll tell you this. That
yeah,
is
buddy.
like, I feel you because every day I had to really, like, yesterday, I just had to shut it down.
Mm.
I told my kids, you guys are on ad hoc spring break until further notice.
I like that. I like that. I like that. Ad hoc
And
spring break. Yeah.
you know, I was like, I had to write on the calendar that schedules are subject to change without without prior notice. And my daughter was like, really, mom? Yes, really.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
so
Yeah.
it was just my activist heart, right? I miss my students that I go visit. I miss the parents and the community social things that I did every day. And me having to really just slow that down and do that a different way. And then at the same
Mhm.
time, you know, people are reaching out like needing in need of help, like right now help. Like not tomorrow. It was like
Yeah.
they needed that help
Yeah.
2 weeks ago, right? Um,
Yeah.
and just trying to, in my mind, think of how can I help these people one at a time, one family at a time, one community at a time. And so it really does
Yeah.
get to us, and we have to be intentional about when to just say, okay, I got to pause here. Right.
Mhm.
Because if it was up to us, Bernita, we'd try to save everybody. Like, come on
Let
now.
me tell you, I would just engulf my whole car in a clear bubble, and I would just
Right.
ride around the city so I'm not exposed, and I would just be handing out stuff with the little gloves attached to the bubble. Like, here you go, baby, I got you. Here you go. You know, but that's
Right.
not our reality. But yeah, I think that pause that you're talking about, even for the kids, I like that you said that ad hoc spring break, because there's a lot of parents right now who are like, look, sit down, do this, do that. We got to stick to the schedule. We got to blah blah blah. But at some point, we got to stop for a minute and say, wait a
Yes.
minute. The kids are going through it too, right? They're dealing with it too. They're dealing with the separation from their family and friends, and even school homeschool kids. They're going through it. because the
Yes.
homeschool kids, they weren't used to this because moms were
Mm-mm.
taking them out to field trips. Mom was homeschool wasn't just sit at home school, so
Preach.
everybody's
Yeah.
going through this different analogy of what life looks like. And so to do some type of hard pause every now and then, it's like, or not every now and then, but every day, if you need
Yes.
to, when you feel that, I think we can trust what we feel as parents. And
Mm-hmm.
trusting when you feel that confusion coming up on the inside that, oh my God, I'm hectic. If you feel that way, your kids feel that way. And they're feeling it even more so because we're up under them 24 hours a day. So we
Yeah.
all need to pause.
Yeah, and it's like creating new norms, right? Because I am a homeschool mom and my kids don't even understand like why are we here, you know? And around those new norms, it's like we've had to have a mental shift,
Mhm.
another way of thinking about this because no, we cannot go to those daily park trips, right? My son
Yeah.
loves playing at the park every day. And no, we
Mhm.
can't go to the library every couple days, right? They love
Yeah.
going to the library. And no, we're not able to drive and go, hang out with family and church and youth group and things like that. No, I'm sorry, we have to do that online. And my children didn't have that much access to internet. And now they're
Mm.
like, what do you mean? And so it got to the point where my son was video chatting with my grandson and he just turned to me and he said, Mommy, can you just portal me to KJ? Can't you
If
just
it was
do
that
that?
real.
You
Right.
know? And I
Oh
was
my
like,
God.
wait a minute, let me make sure he understand what portal means. And he
Yeah.
did. And he was like, if we got all this technology, you could just
Can't you
portal
just
me
send me over there with him? Yep. Just for a
right
couple of hours.
just for
You
a
know,
few hours.
but isn't
And
it weird though how it's flipped, right? You remember we were telling our kids like no that you only get 2 hours of screen time or you only get an hour of screen time. You only get an hour of screen time. Now we're like, take the screen time. Like take the
right,
screen time. So I
right.
mean we hoping it is interactive screen time, but before we were
Yes,
just like cutting this off, right? And there was
right.
some households that did not allow screen time, period. So now these type of social media platforms have become an avenue of success for our households to connect to people. And
Yes.
yeah, it's my daughter. So my daughter, 16 years old, 11th grader. The school has been calling once a week, and she requested a conference with her counselor. And
Mm-hmm.
they counselor called back. She got on the phone with me. I said, I don't know what she want to talk about. Here she goes. And my daughter is my
Right.
child. She advocates for herself a lot. So I was like, I don't know. She asked to speak to you. And I'm sitting in the same room listening to her. And I'm thinking of things I want her to say, but she got it over there. And I'm looking at her like, oh, okay, I see.
You
Oh, she
know,
was like, so what about our transcripts? So she was like, so on this transcript, my grade online, my grade has not been updated. When is the teacher going to upgrade that? Update that. I need my transcripts for next year for applying for school. When will we expect to get that? And so she stopped saying her and started saying, so when will all the students be able to, and when will we know? When will
right.
we be emailing our classmates? And when will this and what about, and I'm sitting there looking at her like, well, dang it, you have been listening. I'm like,
Yes.
but it's good to see them interact like that and be able to socialize, but at the same time my concern is, like you said, some of the ones who are like, this is still not fulfilling for me. This is this
Right.
And so with her, I started helping her kind of think out of the box, because one of my other friends told me her daughter did a picnic with her friends via Zoom.
Okay.
And so they all agreed to have food around and sit down in the quiet space on a mat on the floor, whatever, and just have a picnic and talk via Zoom. So I told my daughter to do this, right? And my daughter looked at me, she said, Mom, she said, but what about if my friend don't have any food? And
Oh,
that got to me. I was like,
yes.
oh, wow. So I said, okay, well, fine, just have a Zoom meeting. Just tell me you want to have a Zoom meeting. So that's what she's been doing,
Man.
like every night. She's been having Zoom meetings. And she's really, truly an advocate, because she'll tell me she'll tell me stuff like, "Oh my, my friend don't have no food at home," like during the school year.
Man,
And so now, even through the computer, she's advocating for stuff like that. So we got to think about the kids, that they going through some
yeah.
stuff,
Yeah,
you know.
and and I have to say this, and shout out to her. I love her heart, and I love her
Yeah,
activism. Tell her I said that. And
yes.
so, we have to think about this because now, some of the inequities that we had already been talking about existing in our community are stark. You can see them. This coming to the forefront. I had parents saying, Christina, I don't even have the $10 to
Mm,
pay for the subscription for the internet. Like,
mm,
I don't have 9.99, right?
yeah,
And
yeah.
and what am I supposed to do to even access like through my phone? Like my kids can't type one thing at a time. And so I'm so glad that there was the petition that we, went out about the technology. But at the same time, we're seeing these things that were deep and wide as far as inequities come to the forefront. And, our children have had to live this way for a while. We had to live that way generationally, right? Trying to figure it out, making it do what it do. And
Hmm.
so,
Hmm.
it's like, wow, you really didn't think that having the skill to master it in equity was going to help you during a time like this. But talk about the ways
During a
that
time
it's
like
helped
this.
you to be right.
Yeah, so, I come up in Highland Park. My mother was a single mom, and there was plenty of days. I think I was telling somebody a story about how my mom used to take us to the park when we were younger, and she would have one sandwich, and she would take the sandwich and cut it in little cute triangles and all that kind of stuff, right? And she would wrap it up, put it in a little bag, and she would take we always had a milk jug that she used to make Kool-Aid, but she always kept lemons in that milk jug, cut up lemons, and she would basically just add a little sugar to it, more water, right? So it wasn't remade Kool-Aid; it was more like filling up the lemon water again. And
Right.
then we lived upstairs from a candy store, and she would go down there and get a bag of chips on credit from this lady named Miss, and we would go to the park, play all day. My mom would we would have a ball. Like, oh, we are literally at the park all day, be running,
Right.
come back, drink she'd have some of our little cups from home, drink some water, go play, then come eat a little bit of a sandwich. I never found out till I was around 17 that my mother ended up telling me the reason why she would do that was because she didn't have enough food.
Right.
And so she would know to take us to the park to play and keep us active and busy with that one sandwich so we wouldn't be at home all day eating. And
Mm-hmm.
at night, she would take the beans and rice that she had cooked probably 4 days ago, add a little more water to it, and a little more seasoning to it, maybe add a little more rice to it. And we had this rice and beans with a little bit of beans on it. We thought we were doing something,
Yeah.
right? But that was her stretching food. That was her being, making sure times that were hard didn't look like it was hard to us. So we've experienced it. There's a lot of us who's experienced it. There's a lot of us who've experienced not having heat, lights, gas, homelessness, right? And
Yep.
so we've
Oh yeah.
experienced hard times. And what I want people to always understand is there's some hard time that you've experienced in your life. This is the time to hone in and tap in on that moment that mama bear or that dad is. It's a hard time for everybody in the world. And even think of some of the old things your mom practices your mom them used to do. Me and you were talking yesterday about the beans and rice. We know
Right.
how to cook beans and rice. We know how
Let me
to
tell you.
we know how to
So
stretch some
that
hamburger. Go ahead.
yes. No, you go ahead. Yeah, you
Oh
go
yeah,
ahead.
we
I'm
know how to stretch some hamburger. We take one pack of hamburger, make a meatloaf that's this big.
yes.
We beat and breaded it up and onioned it up and then some scramble the other part. The other part becomes spaghetti. You know what I'm saying? And you got 3-4 days worth of meals out of this one meal, right? And that's not to negate that people who don't have to say, okay, just deal with it. That is not to say that whatsoever. But what I want people to understand is we are naturally born survivors. We are survivors. We've
Right.
survived all type of major issues. This is one of the worst ones, right? But we've survived. We've survived wars, and we're gonna survive this. We're going to collectively survive it. We're going
Yes.
we're going to in our households improvise, but at the same time, while we're surviving, create those intentional moments. Create your family's new norm. I told somebody I didn't want to have a meeting around dinner time next week because my goal is to sit down with my family and have dinner because we've been all over the place. We've been ripping and running and this and that. I want us to sit down and have dinner together. And
Right.
and not just sit on the couch and eat and watch TV, Netflix, or
Yes.
whatever. But I
Hmm.
want us to have intentional dinner together. Create those old fashioned values and new norms again that make you remember, wow. I mean, loving moments while we were locked in together. So that 10 years down the line, we'll be telling this testimony of, you remember when we had that and we were
Right.
locked up for, you remember, and then we learned how to, my mama taught me how to play this game and I never knew she knew how to play. I learned
Right.
this stuff that I haven't even taught my kids that my mom taught me. That I,
Yes.
that
Yes.
I'm like, wow, I remember my mother. We making paper things. It's crafts you can do around the house. I know I'm talking a million words a minute, but I'm just
No, but
thinking
you're
like,
talking the truth.
yeah, we got
Right.
to think out of the box. We got to think out of the box. The toilet paper rolls. Get the toilet paper rolls. Make some crafts out of them. Get some tissue paper and make flowers out of them. I don't know if you remember when we used to make flowers out of tissue paper when I don't know,
Uh-huh.
tissue paper might be scarce right now, but
Well, we can't have people buying up all the tissue paper because But the fact is that and I always talk about this. Like I feel like I have mastered accommodations. Like when people talk about, oh, well, you have 504 accommodations, baby. Let me tell you, I have mastered accommodations because when you have to be innovative in your thought process of what am I going to do to accommodate, that's how your
Mhm.
mind thinks, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I was having that conversation with you about how we made meals stretch. We were little, we didn't even know it. And I remember my mom making Jello, right? She had always
Mm.
got some box of Jello, and in our minds, we're like, "Wow, we get Jello!" It was
Jello.
amazing. Jello in a can, in that can of Cool Whip. We put it on there. That was dessert, okay?
Yep.
And I remember as an adult thinking, you know, we always had cornbread, Jiffy cornbread, right?
Hmm.
Or
Hmm.
they would get the cornmeal and things like that. But when my mom got the blueberry flavored one and the apple cinnamon, we thought
You
it
was
was
doing
cake,
something. You was doing something. Like it's somebody's birthday. What? We got
right?
blueberry. Yep, yep.
Right. And so, also, my mother, she's sold a lot. So she would
Mhm.
take us to like the fabric store. It used to be called Yardage Town. I think it's Joanne Fabrics. And
Mhm.
that was like a treat because we got
Yep.
to go and look in the McCall's books and pick out patterns. And she taught us how to, cut the pattern and pin into the material. And
Mhm.
now that teaching us those vital skills on how to
Mhm.
survive, you know, are totally helping right now. And so
Yeah.
I saw that you made that little cute bear and, was doing some fresh veggies and how to do that. And so tell people how they can locate that information and how to be able to find you for any tips that they may need.
Yeah, so you can go to my Facebook page, Bernita Nini Bradley, and I'm also and I've got so I upload any videos that I do on there. I've been making the masks for people, and I really want people to learn how to make those masks and learn how to make
Mhm.
them for yourself. I've been making them out of pillowcases, T-shirts, all kind of things. It has to be 100% cotton. I've made the canning, the vegetables canning and then the bears. And next week I'll be posting a video of that sewing that you're talking about. So me and my daughter
Right?
were making her junior prom dress. Well, I was supposed to make the dress, but now I told her, I said, we're still making the prom dress. So I want you to know,
Yes.
I'm gonna lay it out on the table, show her how to cut it out. And again, my mother taught us how to do fabric, right? I mean how to sew, how to choose quality fabric, how to lay it out, right? And didn't even realize she's buying off the remnant wrap, a remnant
Right.
rack at a fabric
It-
store, right? But
yes.
she was making us clothes that made it. There was kids in our community who told us when we were older, they thought we were rich growing up. I was like, you thought we were rich? I'm like, who thought that?
You
We
had
caught the
clothes they
bus.
didn't have. That's why.
We had clothes they didn't have. And we sitting up like, Ma, I don't want to wear this. I don't want to wear this, But
Right.
and then look, me and my two brothers were always dressed alike. We had on the
Me
same
and my
fabric.
sister too.
Theirs was just boy clothes and mine was a girl clothes. And I'm sitting up like, why do I gotta look like them all the time?
Right.
But not realizing that was survival. That was survival,
Yes.
man.
It's and so now, we're so grateful to be able to share this wisdom, to help people be able to make it through their day, right? To help people to understand that at the very basic level, there's some things that you could do and still have an environment in your house of joy, of
Hmm.
peace, of hope,
Hmm.
and the children will thrive in that environment. And I like how you said your daughter was actively involved in that phone call and advocating on behalf of not only herself but other kids. So parents, one thing I want you to know is that it's okay for us to let our kids go ahead and take flight. And see how
Hmm.
they do. And we learn a lot through those experiences. Every time I have my children, especially on Fridays, right? Today is that day that they will present everything they learned through the week. So we have
Okay.
family presentations, because I want to be sure that they understood what they were learning. And so when we
Mm.
have these family presentations, and even if my son, draws a picture to present what he learned, that's fine with me. It don't matter. Just
Hmm.
give me something back, right?
Yeah.
I always am humbled by what I learned from them. I'm always humbled about, wow, this is what they got out of it. And it's accurate, but they took it to a whole different level, right?
Hmm.
And so that's always a humbling experience, and a lot of, people are making it through our acts of kindness and other people's acts of kindness. Sharing that information on how to survive through this time is an act of kindness. And so
Yeah.
that's why, I want to be able to capture these things, check on the children, see how they're doing. And you can submit why the magic of kindness has helped you through, or how it's helped you through, again, to my page at Y Society on Facebook. Or you can do the hashtag Let My People Think One. I would love to hear from you and your children. Send pictures or a short video, and we'll go ahead and get that magic of kindness back out to the nation's families. And so, Bernita, thank you so much.
You're
You
welcome. Thank
are
you for
like,
having me.
since the
Thank you for
time I
having me.
met you, you're just like, me and you, we gonna be connected for life.
Oh, you have. We're gonna have to tell one day the story of what you did for me after only knowing me a week. So yeah, I owe
Well,
you so big.
that's just our heart though, and that's how we do. We help one another, and we got to make sure that we don't leave people behind, right?
Yeah.
I don't care what level anybody is at, we gonna help them,
Yeah.
like, let's do this. And that's just an act of his heart. But I believe that everybody has that level of kindness within them. And so being able to shift your mental thought process on how we function in the house. Yes, there's going to be some anxieties. Yes, there's going to be some rough days, but
Hmm.
we have to
Yeah.
be able to take that pause for our
Yeah.
mental
Think
well-being.
out of the box. Yep.
Think out of the box. Know that we're setting standards for a new norm. This isn't,
Noodle.
normal. It's okay to feel anxious. It's okay to feel afraid. It's okay to feel sad. But what are you going to do with that? Right? Because
Yep.
this ain't nothing about this is normal. COVID-19 pandemic lockdown, this not normal, right? And so it's okay to have those feelings. So Bernita, I want you to give a message that in our closing message right now.
Yeah, so to all you moms and dads, brothers and sisters, foster parents, grandparents out there with these babies in the house, or if you just, out there with siblings or whatever, raising them, I want you to know it's okay to pause for a minute, take the panic off of you, breathe, do some breaths. If you got to go in separate places in the in the house and just take your time and just say, I need a woosah, you need a woosah, but do
Yes.
not think that we're going back to the old way. Create the positive norms that you want and know that whatever your norm is, you doing a good job at it. Don't let anybody out here, anybody that you see on social media, intimidate you into being this perfect parent teaching your kid at home and this person who's failing at home with your kids or you don't know or whatever. Thank you to the work that you are doing because at least you're doing something. Wake up some days when you don't feel like getting up because I know it gets hard. Get up, dress yourself, and have a ball in the living room with your kids, whatever, dressed up, whatever it might be. But create some norms that you are going to enjoy for the future. And also share it. Share it. Just like me and Christina are sharing stuff. Share. It's somebody else that needs to know what you're doing because what they need to know might help them come out of their funk or come out of the way that they're feeling. They're
Yes.
heavy. Because it's a lot of people that's scared right now. And obviously scared. You know what I'm saying? So create some norms that are good for your family, some good positive messages. Journal, write down. I do poetry, everything. Do whatever. Sing like you in the shower by yourself,
Yes.
or put a video on and let everybody see it. And be okay with being embarrassed by it. There's no perfection right now.
Bernita, again, blessings and peace, health and well-being to you and your loved ones. And I just want to say that actually to everyone. Thank you for joining
Love
our
you. Love you.
daily broadcast of Managing Day to Day with Christina Laster, National Parents Union. I love you, beautiful children. I hope you're
Yes,
doing well. And we will see you again next time. Thank you.
yes. See you later.